There are quite a few ways I could start this devlog because there are quite a few things I've done since I've last spoken to you all. The main one being, I'm in college now. I've only had 2 weeks of classes, and I was stuck inside with COVID for one of them, so I can't say whether or not the amount of work will hinder me from working on games quite yet, although that's sort of on purpose. I try to line up this period of in-between games limbo with starting university, so that my routine would just end up completely ruined and I could settle into something that works with both of them. Does that make sense? Alright, you clicked on this video to see a relaunch, so a relaunch you'll get. After releasing Breezy to limited success, I reaffirmed a conclusion that I had already come to. Breezy is much too expensive for too little. The only thing making this game last longer than the 2-hour campaign is Remix Rush, which, while fun, takes about an hour itself to master. So, how do other games take relatively little content and turn into a fun experience? Okay, that's a little unfair. The games I'm thinking of were designed for multiplayer from the start. The time the developers of these games put into balancing, netcode, optimizations, multiplayer features, and DLC rival the time the developers of single-player games spend making hundreds of levels, intricate secrets, and a gripping story. It would be foolish of me to think that I could add multiplayer to Breezy when it was designed for, alright, that should do it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, sort of. It did only take me 1 day of work to get to this clip I posted on Twitter, and only 1 more day to get to where I am now. See, I've talked in previous devlogs about how I didn't plan very much for Breezy, and that's certainly the case. However, I did have a little foresight when designing a few specific features. A small inkling in the back of my mind that said, multiplayer in this game would be fun. I better not add this crazy feature, because then multiplayer wouldn't work. That's the reason you can't control the camera with the mouse, among a few other things. Because of that, I'll predict now that I should be able to get multiplayer working seamlessly before the end of the year. Multiplayer, along with the Ancient Pyramid and Special Shrine courses, will be the main new content in the Breezy relaunch. Once I've finished all this content, I'll package it all up, use one of my Steam visibility rounds, and possibly reach out to some publishers about it. I'm looking at Black Country Games, led by fellow YouTuber Let's Talk Game Design, since we've had some dealings before. Obviously though, I'll have to do plenty of research. If you happen to know someone who'd be a good fit, let me know in the comments. I wouldn't need any cash, just publicity. Maybe I just need to hire a marketer. I don't know, more thought is needed. I'd like to get a Switch release out as well. I think that would legitimize the game enough that I could even reach out to some news organizations. The most important part of the process though is lowering the price of the game. That needs to happen immediately, so if you're watching this video, Breezy is officially $2, permanently, or at least until the relaunch. There may also be a sale on, so you can get it for even cheaper if you're quick. I was inspired to do this while shopping for games during the Steam Summer Sale, as one does. I realized that the orange box, the compilation of Half-Life 2, both its extra episodes, Portal, and Team Fortress 2, was on sale for only $2. It's back up to $20 now, in case you were wondering. I'm not relying on this game to put food on the table. At this point, I'm mainly trying to get the $100 minimum payout. So if lowering the price is enough to get even a few dozen people to buy it, I'll be a happy game dev. And if that's not enough, the relaunch should do the trick. So, a short recap. Breezy is $2 for the foreseeable future. In a few months, more details to come, it'll get an update with multiplayer and 2 new courses, along with tons of marketing and maybe a publisher deal and or Switch release. But that's not all I've been doing. Deck Dojo, the prototype I made in July, was supposed to be just a 1-month project, but because of the aforementioned in-between games limbo, I found myself adding a few more things. Here's the rundown. I added a new area. After you make your way across this bridge, you can enter the building from the 2nd floor. Inside is some sort of factory area, where you have to make your way across I-beams to, well, nothing yet. I added a new card, the Coin Toss. Inspired by Ultra Kill, you flip a coin into the air in front of you, and you can punch it, kick it, fireball it, or whatever. And it stores the damage and knockback of the move, unleashing it onto the next enemy it touches. I find it extra fun to use Hyper Launch on it. I added 2 new songs, one for the factory area, and dungeon-like areas in general, and one for combat within the city. I'm not exactly sure how I want the existing city theme and the combat theme to interact, so for now, I've replaced the city theme with the combat theme. The combat theme also has a custom loot point so that the intro doesn't loop, which isn't a feature in Breezy. I'm not sure how this will interact with fading songs though, something to think about. I've also been working on some non-game dev projects in Rust. specifically the 5th version of Tuck, which is a lexer parser generator library, and, well, it's a little complicated, especially with the different versions. This 5th one is in a complete state though, and almost fully featured. There are a few things I'd like to add and some optimizations I'd like to do, so it'll probably be done in the next few months. At that point, I'd like to try making a real, actual programming language, which has always been the goal of the Tuck project. I may make a video about my non-game dev projects at some point, and there will be more info there. Speaking of videos, it seems that not making one for 3 weeks has sent my channel back down to 0 views per day, which is always great to see. I'd like to try and figure out a workflow for getting regular uploads again, but it'll be a little shaky as I work on different projects here and there. I don't think anyone's really clamoring for new Mondovi videos, but as I always say, it's about faking it until you make it. So let's all just keep faking and or making it, and until next time, have a good day.